I decided to play 10 different horror games based around Christmas and rank them all and see if they're actually scary or is just as a holiday gimmick because humans have this crazy, be included, addiction to being afraid. But I'll be ranking them based off the psychological horror that I feel when playing a Christmas game. Like, I want to be afraid of Santa. I don't want Santa to be like, ha ha hee hee. I need to be scared of the reindeer coming to eat my organs. Now while I still have all my organs inside of me, let's get into the very first game of the tier list. The best gift there is a game you can play in browser. I thought that was pretty cool because you don't need to download anything, you can just get right into the action. You find this note on a snowy day on Christmas Eve and it tells you to go inside the maze, and you do. You go inside that maze and you walk around. It's got a nice atmospheric crunch to it, but there's just one thing about this game that absolutely tickled my fancy, and it was this rubber duck inside of a pool. Yeah, that's a nice little duck. I love my little duck, I ain't never giving up. After drying off in a dip of a hot tub, we find the middle of the maze where we find a giant gift box. Now my suspicions are high because why is there a giant gift in the middle of a maze? And the note is very wholesome, actually. Very nice. But who wrote this note and why does it look like chicken scratch? Well, that's because you're being hunted by a birdman creature thing that wants to chase you down through the maze and eat you because you're a lonely person on Christmas Eve. It didn't really scare me either. It just seemed like a creepy bird. Didn't really do much for me on that point. The best gift there is a cool idea. I like that it's in the browser, but it doesn't really hit what I wanted. You know, that Christmas meshed with happiness, mixed with fear. It's just kind of like a chasing game, and the Birdman creature doesn't really mean anything to me in terms of Christmas. So for that, I'm gonna put the best gift there is in C tier. Just not the best game, not the worst game, a good time. Now the next game is something that I wish I never ever found in my entire life. This game is called Sprite Cranberry, and it is about the old commercial, if you guys recall, where LeBron James would show up to your house with Sprite Cranberry and give you a taste of that Christmas spirit. Now this game does embody that. LeBron knocks on your door in the middle of the night and says, here's some Sprite Cranberry, let's go. And he hunts you down, force feeding you Sprite Cranberry until you die. But only if this game was actually scary. No, it makes no freaking sense, and it is an absolute disaster show. He's just hunting you on this bad AI path, and he literally can see through walls. It is absolutely infuriating. The only thing that would make me not want to explode is if I could win, and I could never win. I could never win until I eventually won, and then I felt a little bit good, but then I hated myself because I spent hours playing this game. I got away! Yes! Ooh, Sprite Cranberry has nothing to do with Christmas other than the fact that there's a commercial about LeBron around Christmas time trying to sell a product. No, this is a pure meme game, and honestly, if you want to enrage your friends, I highly suggest it. This game would be elf poop for me, absolute elf poop, but sometimes elf poop is fun to throw at your friends, so give it to a friend if you hate them. Now let's move on to the third game, Ben's Toys. I love the art style in this game. I feel like I could reach out and touch the characters in them and they would feel soft. Like, I love the texture. I think the texture really adds to it. It gives that Christmas soft, cozy spirit. The mission in this game is you have to go and get the toys on your children's wish list so that they can have a great Christmas and you can be the best dad ever. There is a slight twist. It is very difficult to get these toys in the box and then get them into the box making toy thing. It's fun though, because that's kind of difficult. But then Ben gets shot and dies. Yes, tragically, Ben gets shot by his own worker who goes on a rampage. As you are about to leave, you feel terrible, and you have to go back and get your kids' toys while there's a rampaging maniac, and you just saw Ben's brains. Oh my God, it was tragic. Now, I will say, I did not like the fact that you had to go back and do this, and that was really it. Like, you just had to grab the toys and leave. It just felt boring, and I think the initial fear was gone after that. Like, once you saw Ben dead, and it just was boring at that point on. Like, nothing else was really fun. So, is this game great? No, I think it's another C tier game. Ben's Toys in the C. Definitely interesting if you like the art, but besides that, it's not really all there. It just kind of gets lost, the scary part. Fingers crossed that this next game could be better than a C tier, but we have Here Comes Santa Claus. This game was surprising to me. At first, it just did not look like a game that had the legs to actually be scary, because you're just a kid who lays down these traps to catch Santa Claus in the act of being Santa Claus. But the twist is, the next day you are Santa Claus, so you have to remember where you put the toys as Santa Claus and then do all the jobs as Santa without the kid catching you, because if the kid does, Yeah, I mean, that jump scare really gets you because, you know, you're the kid and you're also Santa at the same time. So it really is a puzzle game. Like, as the kid, you need to strategically remember where you put those toys. So as Santa, you don't make enough noise so the kid doesn't come and jump scare you, which I found to be too simple. I mean, once you figure this out, the game is just a breeze. But that's what the game wanted you to think. It was like, yeah, you think this is easy? Yeah, you think it's easy? Because then it drops a bomb on you. Oh, I'm not Santa. I was not expecting that twist, to be honest. I thought it was just gonna be a cheap jump scare game where like, oh my God, if the kid hears you, it's gonna scare you. But no, it actually has some real dark stuff in it.
Oh God, it's someone's severed head. They murdered the child?
However, when I first played this game on stream, I didn't feel the way I did now, so I gave it a B. I do think, as of today, after some time's gone on, this is an A game. It really does scratch all the things that I need, and I think this is a good psychological Christmas horror game. I mean, a twist that you could die for. Now let's keep this ranking ball going, because we have How to Build a Snowman. You see what I did there? Yeah, okay. This game had a lot of promise in my mind. It is a Unreal Engine game, so it's got good graphics, and good graphics don't mean good game at all, but it's a good starting point, especially when you're playing all these indie games. Like, oh, they put some time into this, some art into this. I like the way it looks. However, looks can be deceiving. What you quickly find out is that your family has been fighting this cold demon monster that's been trying to take over the world for generations. Like that snowman you saw in the beginning, well, this big guy is trying to build an army of them to take over the world. And you can thank your dumb son Toby for that, because he put the frozen heart in Grandpa's room inside of that snowman. I really thought this game was gonna give me more, but it just fell flat. I mean, the build-up was right there, and the monster was pretty cool, but then there's just nothing in terms of fear. I mean, this game is not scary at all. It's just a story game that's kind of like happy-go-lucky, and there's just nothing scary about it. And I thought it was going to be better than it was, but dang, man, it just was like a chase sequence, and it was kind of buggy. It just wasn't that good. How to Build a Snowman is elf poop, and that's sad to say because it looked good, but man, it just didn't have any substance. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you made this game. I'm sorry. We're halfway through the games and we still haven't had an S tier, so my fingers are crossed. Now we have Kringle. Kringle is a game where you are a hacker and you find a VHS tape and you pop that thing in your TV and you get a message from one of your friends saying, I hacked the Kringle server and what I found was so messed up. So your job is to finish what he started without being attacked by Santa, who is working for the Kringle Corp, and they're about to come and get that. And he does come and get that thing. He curb stopped me a few times. Now this game is more tedious than I think it is scary. You pretty much are in this like Five Nights at Freddy's situation where you're managing your windows, trying to do some small task before he can break in and beat the brakes off of you. Now this game I don't find to be scary at all. It's more of just a jump scare type beat game. And to me, it does have those Christmas elements, but it's just not psychologically twisting enough. I mean, it doesn't make me really feel any joy. It's just more like, panic, like, let me get good at this and then I'll win. So with that being said, I don't think this is for me, but it could be for you because maybe you like those Five Nights at Freddy's type games. So this is a C for me. I don't want to say it's elf poop because I do see where this game could be fun for some, just not my cup of tea. Or I should say, Coco. Can you hear those sleigh bells jingling? Well, in sleigh bells, you do. You start off this game as a woman of the streets. You are selling your body so that you can get your son some Christmas gifts. And right when I enter the game, I love the PS1 style graphics, the crunchiness, the coziness of it all. It just fits so well, especially in the Christmas environment. It just mixes so good in that nostalgic part of your brain. And I do enjoy the fact when you're walking around, the world has some life, it has some character, there are some NPCs. It really helps tell the story without being invasive on your immersion, which the other games that we played did not do well. This game did excellently. So it forces you to go into the subway where you run into Santa. Now this Santa man is no joke. He is ready to beat you with his axe at any moment. So if you get seen, he's coming for them cheeks and he's ready to get you. So you have to evade him, try to get away from him until you reach this one point of the game where the tables have turned and the hunter becomes the hunted. Shooting Santa Claus was a lot harder than I thought, but we got the job done and the game has a good finish, which I think is a great conclusion to a great game. Sleigh Bells really hit all the check marks I was looking for. It's got the environment, it looks good. It also has that Santa with the fun and the joy of Christmas mixed with the murderous tension building intent. And I think this is our first S-tier Christmas horror game, and I think this is a must play for anybody watching this far into the video. You will thoroughly enjoy this game if you haven't played already. This game has been out for a bit, I think, but if you haven't played it, please play it. S-tier Sleigh Bells. And for our 8th game, we have Santy is Home. Santy is Home is a game where you wake up and you realize that your daughter is no longer in the home. There's a note that slid under the door and it says, "Do my wish list." Now, I would probably call the police, but you decide to do the wish list that was randomly slid under your door. As you're doing the wish list, there are some weird little moments where this monster kind of pops up around the corner and you're like, whoa, that's kind of scary. But to me, it doesn't really hit. It's just so dry. And this game is dry. It is like, oh, it's one of the, I despise these type of horror games. And I'm going to be honest here, this game was not it for me at all. Like, what is the point of going around and finding all these little things and for the monster to not even do anything? It just literally stalks you and then there's just like jump scare at the end. Is this really scary? Like, no. The only thing that's scary is that you're a parent that doesn't give a damn that their child just got abducted. As you can probably tell, this game is a elf pooper. I hate fetch quest for like a jump scare. Like, what's the point? Like, literally anything else? Now we're on to our 9th game, Dead Mall. Dead Mall is nothing what I expected it to be. Dead Mall made me think dead things in a mall around Christmas time, but no, you just go around and you pick up Christmas gifts and put them in a cart and you're timed. And then there's a leaderboard and you gotta try to get the most gifts, but that guy was definitely hacking. Like, no way you get that many points, that's insane. And if you don't do it in the allotted time, this monster comes out and it eats you. That's it. I mean, I don't know how this game is a Christmas horror game. I guess it's the fact that you get eaten at the end by something, but no, it's just like a time-based trial run, speed run game for points. For Christmas horror though, I'm gonna put this one in elf poop as well. And this is another elf pooper, back-to-back poopers, man. This has nothing to do with Christmas. I felt nothing on the inside on this one. It was just emptiness. Yeah. We are finally on the last game, and the final game in the ranking is Tornuktu. If you watched my last video, you saw my opinion on this, but I'm gonna go over it one more time because now that time has gone and I've played even more Christmas horror games, Tornuktu is better than I previously rated it. This game is actually good. I don't think it's an S tier game, but in terms of what it is, it does have that Christmas vibe. The tension does build nicely in this game, and the story is just enough to keep you locked in as a player. By no means is it the best game we played out of the last 10, but it does hold true to the psychological Christmas horror that I was looking for. You know, it has this home where you have a Christmas tree and you're around the family and things go south, something you can relate to as a player, and the horror is decent. It's just not scary enough for me to give it anything above a B. So Tornuktu, B, and I think it happily should sit there. And that's going to conclude the ranking of the 10 games I played. If you guys agree or disagree, if you played any of the games, let's talk about it in the comments below. I love to chat it up with you guys. It's one of my favorite things about making YouTube videos. And if you'd like to try any of these games, they're all in the description, all lined up just for you. So enjoy, have a great rest of your holidays, and I'll see you in the next video. And YouTube thinks that you like this video, so you might like this video right here. This one right here is a special one just for you. And I know it's gonna be good.